I didn't know how it was going to end or time, so that's my first time seeing it. I had
It's
no
my
idea.
first time.
It's my
Don't
first
judge.
time. Please be gentle. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't find the right hole. Hey everyone, welcome. I am a little bit under the weather, so if I do lose my voice or if I sound a little bit snotty, I think I am coming down with a sinus infection. So I am a little bit under the weather, so I'm going to try not to talk as much as I am prolonging this intro. But today we're going to do a little bit of the day after. We're going to have to recap this match. Honestly, this match left me no words. I was a little bit bummed out. I didn't want to go into the chat yesterday and talk. That's how flustered
Left
I
me
was.
alone. Left me all alone.
Unfortunately. Dave, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing all right. You know, all things considered, I've mostly forgot about yesterday. What really kind of boosted my mood not too long ago is Mons' 4-2 victory over Milan, keeping us in second place. Not that we should be celebrating that we have to rely on other teams to lose, but you know, we take our victories when we can.
I like scoreboard watching when we're on top, not on the bottom, because then it just kind of feels weird that you're just like reluctantly relying on the people above you to save the day in a sense. That Monza game was interesting, right? Because Monza apparently this entire match was like, hey, you know, screw scoring in normal stoppages of play. We're going to score right before the whistle in the first half and right before the whistle of the end of the game. I think that was pretty much the definition of that match because they come in, they take the lead off a penalty by Pessina and Milan's defender. I have no idea what the hell he was doing. Like, I was just like, okay, fuck it. The one tackle missed, and then he's just like, Hudah! Like, I'm like sitting there. I'm like, Gotzi, is that you? No, but poor defending on that first instance there, and then essentially gave Milan a 2-0 lead, which, you know, everyone, you know, next thing later, Palladino, next Juve coach, let's go. I'm waiting for that to start getting thrown out, and then Milan with Captain America Pulisic starting.
Oh, what a beautiful goal!
Was
a nice
banger, absolute banger from Pulisic. And then they equalize. And then Mons is like, hey, that's a nice comeback you had there.
Yeah, just like immediately. They did the kickoff glitch on FIFA.
Be a shame if we absolutely, you know, to be honest, it wasn't a kickoff glitch, but like
no, not quite, but it was almost.
No. I'm saying,
on ours.
I'm saying, like, for example, Rabiot's goal was in theory a kickoff glitch. Because, like, I was working, like, you know, kickoff happened for that, you know, after they scored the second. I turned away from the TV for a moment. And then I turned back away and I see Rabiot celebrating. I'm like, what the hell just happened? What did I miss? I'm like, what just happened? I was so confused.
It was a good one. I jumped out of my chair.
Like, I had to watch it on the highlights just to understand what that was. I was just like, I don't know. I was like, that was a goal. Like, I thought I was waiting for VAR to come in and just be like, offsides, cock blocking, Adrien Rabiot, 15-yard penalty, no goal, just because F you guys, because Allegri out allegedly.
No, that ref was all over the place yesterday for both sides. I mean, it was just kind of evened out at the end of the day.
Yeah, I thought, you know, I didn't have any issues with the officiating, right? Like, I thought it was fair. I mean, like, for example, the call to give the Ducey boys penalty, I thought that was fair. That was a good penalty by Dusan. It was a very nice penalty.
Yeah, you know, he just kicked the ball.
He just kicked the ball. Put ball in net.
He just kicked it.
Just put ball in net. Put ball in net. That's all you got to do. So we kind of, you know, gave praises to Monza there for kind of bailing us out of a jam, but I think we need to get into the nitty gritty of. Can I say yesterday was a disappointment?
Yeah, absolutely, of course. The whole month. It was a disappointing month. The month is behind us, hopefully.
I guess it's a Juve erectile dysfunction month.
Oh boy.
I just can't help but feel perplexed for, like, what the hell happened this month. Like,
you get those months though, right? Where the month just
you do
floor
like,
falls out.
I think you do, right? Like, everybody can relate to that, where you just have a month, a week, where you're just like, fuck, man, I just can't get this.
listen, I'm still waiting for that to happen to Inter because now they're saying they're the next Man City. They're like going over the top with the praise. So
Yeah,
they're the next Man City guys. So we'll see because Man City didn't do that well this weekend either.
they were essentially, gosh, man, that's what irritated me. They're like, oh, if they beat Atleti, they're going all the way. I'm like, their biggest kryptonite is shithouse ball teams, and they are playing the shittiest of shithouse ball teams. I'm like, I mean, I understand that, like, I get it, but like, I don't know. I don't want to toot their horn. Are they playing good? Yes, they're playing good. They absolutely demolished Salvatana. Like, I absolutely like took them to school. Like right now, as far as player quality and the way that they're playing, they're up there. Like they are. I mean, if you want to start saying that, they'll dominate Man City. Well, I don't know. Man City's been shit recently, but
yeah,
I think Real Madrid's probably the most informed out of everyone because like
Mbappe,
Mbappe,
newest member, perhaps.
Though I did talk about this with German Dave, and German Dave and I were talking personally on the side about PSG structure and how they play. And German Dave actually brought it on to me where he was like, yeah, do you see how they're moving, how their midfielders, how like, because PSG started off really, really bad and people were kind of trolling them per se, me included, where they're like, it's not the PSG of old. And it looks like, and they have a young, invigorating team. I think the difference between us and PSG is, yes, we're both young. However, the biggest thing about it is that PSG's midfielders have a lot more dynamism than ours do. Because I was watching the way that they move the ball and the way that they play.
And they have Mbappe cheat code.
They do. That is one of it, right? But it's just interesting because like PSG is operating on that perspective where all they got to do is just dump the ball. And like Mbappe knows all I got to do is just hog this space and I know I'm going to find the ball here, where it's like for us, and I'm drawing the parallels to us because I think the topic or the way that I want to go about this conversation is the difference between us and PSG. Because foundationally wise, they're trying to go young and cheap. We're trying to go young and cheap. I think we have a better next gen than they do in academy.
They usually come a little bit cheaper the younger they are. Yes, those the older ones usually come for premium.
Let's groom them. So with that being said, I think the way that they have proper eights, we don't have a single 8 in the midfield. Like the closest
we do in the red card suspension field.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. Like I look at it and it's like right now even though Rabiot is essential to playing in that midfield right now, he has not been playing well consistently enough, right?
He did have a good game though overall.
I thought I did think he missed a couple of passes, right? There was a couple of
everyone missed a couple passes.
I know, right? I know. It's just like I look at it, and the thing that kind of frustrates me right now with this team, 2023 and 2024, they cannot get all 3 phases working simultaneously.
No,
they cannot.
No,
because like the first half of the season, midfield was playing good, your defense was playing good, your defense was playing phenomenal. And then, like, everything was clicking, everything was rolling. And, we were just sitting here dunking, saying that Dusan sucks, Chiesa sucks, Milik sucks, blah, 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 blah,
We're
blah.
still saying Chiesa sucks, though.
Yeah, we are. So now it's like we go into 2024, and it's like Juve went to some kind of witch doctor and said, oh, please, my beloved, find a way to make Dusan start scoring goals. And then the witch doctor says,
Vanya's a witch doctor?
Maybe. I got to be careful because... you don't want to innuendo stuff because like, oh god, they called her a gypsy. No. It's a joke. It's a metaphor.
Oh boy, yeah.
Relax.
I wasn't. Nobody was anybody going there.
I'm just covering the bases.
Jesus.
Because you've got one asshole that's listening, and that's just like, oh yeah,
we'll deal with those people. We deal with those people.
Yeah, we do. So like. So it's like, okay, great. We'll give Dusan his scoring prowess back, but you're giving me the soul and the common sense of your defenders. Because, like, think about it. Both goals that Verona scored, you're looking at your back line like, what the fuck? Like, is everybody tuning in to be their best version of Alexandro this week? Like, the past 2 weeks? Like, what the hell? And it's a
Come
joke.
on.
Relax, Alexandro stands. Not,
Are still do they exist
I don't know. Because,
still?
like, for example, Rugani on the second one missed the coverage. Gotti's like 2 seconds late. And then Gotti's elbowing a dude and just saying, no, I hit him with the shoulder. Like, no, no, no. I just, like, bro, you're looking at
Not
the
on
camera.
camera.
Not on camera. He's like, I could imagine him going, because Dusan, like, it was funny because Dusan's like, bro, you got to chill the hell out, man. Relax. Stop throwing the elbows. And Gotti's like, I didn't throw an elbow.
That
On
reminds me
camera.
when you play hockey at the lower leagues, like at professional level, you have three refs, but like at the shitty leagues, you have one ref, right? And you can't like if there's something behind the play. So what you do is you wait for like the puck to get dumped, the chase goes down the ice. The ref obviously has to go with them, but you just like drag behind and just absolutely annihilate the one that you want to take out and just like pile drive him to the boards. The ref doesn't see anything. You skate away, no penalty. That's how you do it. That's what Gatti did. He did a behind the play penalty and didn't get caught. And it's amazing.
I think Gotti would be a phenomenal hockey player.
Oh yeah, he would. We need to get into some of these comments. It's been 11 minutes, Stash.
Go.
Let's do it. First off, like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. We're trying to grow and keep on hammering forward. So, Comicus, thanks for coming in as well. David, Ella Talk, member for 5 months. Yes, and speaking of memberships, I did put new member icons up, of course. The whole refresh. I don't know if I've caught everything yet, but I'm going through with the fine tooth comb, trying to catch it all. Got to catch them all.
Pokemon?
Yeah, little reference for you. I was playing around with some anime type background stuff too, just for you guys to see. Some of it was okay. I might settle on something.
Yeah, you gotta throw some hentai on there.
Yeah, see, and he says the AI thumbnails are fire. I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm playing with my artificial assistant, if you will.
That's so funny. I'm not gonna lie. This is just some of the stupidest thumbnails that I just find hilarious. I'm not even saying like they're stupid as in like, oh god, you're so corny and stupid. It's just like, who would have thought you have a bull in a black and white shirt literally on a computer? Like that's just
You just have to think it, and you just have to know how to put it in like a command string for the intelligence to just be like, yeah, man, I know what you mean. I got you.
gotcha.
Give me like 23 seconds. And you
Bam.
wait. And it's like, you're like, yeah, man. Yeah, that one ain't so bad. I'll use that one. That's pretty much how it works.
So David says, did we actually play worse than other games this month? The problem may be the shithouse goals we scored before we didn't in this month at some point over. Right. Yeah. I think that's it. Right. We did. We said it back then. We overperformed and everyone was calling us, what was it? Blasphemy essentially when you were saying that the squad was overperforming. What are you talking about? This squad isn't overperforming. This isn't exceeding expectations.
Yeah, people are emotional.
This is a prime midfield of Vidal, Pogba, and Pirlo. What are you talking about?
What a cock tease this week with Pog back, eh?
I know.
Wow. It's mid-March now. Fucking Italy.
Fucking Italy. They know they don't got anything. That's why they're just like, yeah, let's just push it back another week. We're running on Italian time. It's like Tiffany Stratton. They're running on Tiffy time. LJJ says hello, guys. KB says my problem is. Are you going? Oh, okay. My problem is why is every player's first touch an elephant? No one's able to control or string the ball, and this is where I'm gonna. And I don't mean to speak for Misak here, but just paraphrasing what he said on the Discord. Misak is very adamant by saying like, quality-wise, these guys are below the bar, except for like a couple. A good chunk of them aren't really Juve-esque players, and I think we're starting to learn that, right? Like there's a couple of players on the roster that are playing when you're just kind of like, I don't think you're world class or all star. You're average to above average at best, a B plus player in a sense. And it is extremely frustrating because it's just like Verona absolutely bleeped us on the counter for that second goal, and I'm like sitting there, I'm like, all I ask, even today with Monza and Milan, like Monza, on paper, has a lesser squad than we do. However, their players are able to essentially execute one-touch passes, ping and do a quick, efficient counter.
Oh, Palladino ball. Palladino ball.
It's
He's
not even
coming.
Palladino ball. It's
Palladino.
just
No, you said
Palladino.
it. You said it.
You know, it's funny. Somebody changed their tune after that game. They're like, I think Palladino's ready for a Fiorentina or a Bologna. I'm like, really? I thought he was a Juve coach next year.
Who's that somebody?
I'm not going to say it. I thought it was ironic because remember, let these coaches marinate. Let's not overhype coaches before they get to where they need to. And that's where I think we're starting. And I think people need to understand that, right? There is technical lapses with some of the players that you have on the roster, right? And this isn't me, like, for example, not knocking on him, but like, for example, there's technical aspects that Dusan doesn't have to his game. There's technical aspects that Chiesa does not have to his game. There's technical aspects that McKennie's not a dribbler. He's not an experienced dribbler, right? He can't scissor. He can't suave. He's a power runner in a sense.
I bet you can drive through a drive-through backwards, though.
Probably could. For example, Rabiot, there's things that Rabiot has and he doesn't have. For example, is he the most accurate ball player out there? Average to below average. Where it's like, it's the same thing with Locatelli. Like, Locatelli's not taking piss rocket shots from deep midfield.
I wish he would.
All I got to do is hit someone in the ass and it'll deflect in. That's it, right? Like, for example, and then you have Kostic. Though I think his crosses are great because he's the only one from corner kicks that can create threats with crosses. However, outside of that, he can't dribble consistently past players. He can't create space. That's one of the technical difficulties of his game. I think right now, and this is kind of talking about, I believe, with Elliot and David, Bremer's really the only technical guy in a sense, right? As far as being able to be a strong defender. Because as much as people love Gatti, there's also huge lapses in Gatti's game. Like, for example, today, Huijsen saw us.
Oh, man. Gatti's got to watch out because our offensive, defensive midfield or whatever, center back you want to call him, dude, over there, Huijsen, piss rocket.
Huijsen, if he continues at this trajectory, if he is continuously doing this, he is putting Gatti on the bench.
He's the only one born, what is it, 23? That's his age, right?
No,
23?
Is he 23? I don't know.
What's his age?
With you, I don't know.
Whatever, at that age, whatever age. Fuck, I feel like a dummy. I got to look it up. But to score 2 goals in one season in Serie A at that point, there's only one other guy that's done it. So, Dean Huijsen is 18. Holy fuck. Wow. He's young. He's really young.
Very young. 18 from now, so I think he's 2003, 2004.
Yeah, I think that's what they said. It was 2005. Oh my god, maths and things is not working.
Yeah, my thing is if we mismanage Huijsen at this current trajectory.
So we said loan, like give him back on loan to Roma. If he continues, we have to take him.
You have to keep him. You have to keep him.
You have to take him back.
I think you have to, especially if you're playing a back three. You have to. There's no way that you don't. Like what he's been able to do at Roma at his age is awesome. Right? 18 years old, transfers over to Roma, says, fuck it, I'm going to go for it. I don't give a shit. He's everything as a Dutch defender that you wanted De Ligt to be. The only thing is he's tiny.
Oh, yeah, he's got to beef. He's got to spend some time with Big Mac.
He's got to, I don't care if he's got to eat Chipotle, if he's got to eat patatone, if he's got to eat spaghetti, pasta.
I chuckled a little bit today because all the new liveries have come out for F1. And the Red Bull, just like on the front nose, just like a little Chipotle. I'm like, Big Mac. Just thought it looks bad, but I just thought it was funny.
Well, right, and he's got balls. Like I think that's one of those things, and he's technically, I think he's ahead of Gatti as far as the technical aspect of it, from what I've seen. Right, numbers could probably tell you differently, but just looking at it in general.
Well, Gatti's got the strength.
He's got
the size,
strength,
right? So,
but he has mental lapses that will burn you.
Yeah, I think that perhaps. Like Gatti, and don't take this out of context, but he's more like the Bonucci where he needs the support.
Yes.
He can't be the guy by himself. Like he's great when he has like that Bremer beside him. Like Bremer and Danilo, that experience that's fine
I
because
think
he can be that loose cannon.
I think from what I've seen, and this is kind of like, for example, this is the same thing that happened with Bonucci, right? Where I think Barzagli and Chiellini covered a lot of Bonucci's deficiencies on the field,
And that's fine.
and
That's team
and,
composition.
and that is right. That's team composition. That's what you want. However, like for example, it's the same thing what I'm seeing right now with Bremer and Danilo, where I think they're compensating, and McKennie as well too. I think those three are compensating for sometimes Gatti's lack of positioning, lack of movements, etc. And by all means, I don't think he sucks. I think it's incredible for what he's done, bricklayer to Serie A and all that other stuff. But you have to, you go through runs where you have to have mistake-free footy. And the more mistakes that you make in crucial moments, it just absolutely just burns you. And right now, like for example, I believe, German Dave said Walgani is Walgani. I like him, but is he a consistent starter caliber? I don't think so. Rugani's always been the guy that he's the role player. He's the sixth man. Or in other cases, you would call him the fourth center back, where he comes in and he just covers the line and then he just moves on from there. It's not really like I don't build my team around him. Bremer's the guy that you build your team around. I do think we're really lacking that confident technical defender that you need. I think, if anything, it's just kind of like some of the commentators said. I think one of the commentators is, when you lose one game and you continue getting back up, you have the right to write that off as a blip. When you pull 4 games technically, consistently 4 games in poor fashion, something's there. And I think something is there. I think that, you and I also, we're kind of guilty of it, right? We got a little bit high of the start, and
Yeah, sure. You gotta
right?
what? You ride the wave when you got it.
Ride the wave, enjoy the ride. However, now it's just like when we kind of petered back to expectations or back to reality, everyone's kind of pissed off and throwing shit across the wall, and it sucks, and blah 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 blah, and yada yada yada. Where I'm disappointed, but I'm still kind of where we're at, right? Like I'm like, this is where it is right now.
We're still in second. There's still plenty to play for. There's still the Copa.
There's
a lot here.
Obviously, like for example, you still have the opportunity for Inter to mentally collapse. It's possible. Is it probable? No, but it's possible. But I think, and I think this is what, and I'm guilty of this. I'm gonna be honest. I'm guilty of this, where I might have underestimated Inter's capabilities.
Yeah, and we did that. We did that with Napoli last year too. I mean, some teams, they just have that year where they're unstoppable, and maybe Inter do have that this year. Napoli certainly did. Look at them now. There was an article that came out that they're the first team in 60 years to do this bad post coming off the Champions trip.
Yeah.
So
they're about to sack Walter.
Because you can't see Mazzarri.
I was like,
Mazzarri.
Mazzarri. You want to get Mazzarri, the old sack. So there's going to be a lot, right? And Misak brought this up, and credit to him. You can see the conversation on Discord that he had.
Speaking of which, get into the Discord so we can talk about things. Scan that, or it's down in the description. There's a link down there as well. And I gotta mention, sorry, you can win one of those shirts back there if you get in the predictions. So get in.
So like I lost my train of thought. Damn, this
yeah,
cold.
I mean, you've been doing pretty good. I've thrown you off a couple times, so this is first.
That's fair. You know what? Maybe I'll jog my memory here by reading.
That's fine. We gotta we gotta get into a call in as well here, bud. We gotta open these lines.
Well, eventually. So we can go through the midfield the same. Luca, very good, not great. Rabiot, good, not great. Meretti's development stuttered. Fagioli can't get out of his parlays. Pogba, old and still can't get out of J Medical. Gatti, Bremer, Huijsen back 3 sounds nice, but what happens to Danilo then? He's got multiple years left on his contract as a team captain.
He's getting I think he's got like another good year or two, and he's getting phased out.
Yeah, I think he'll get phased out eventually, right? Later down the road.
Like they'll keep him around for like the next few years, but there's that transition, right? As the youngs come up and the old guys get old, take the reins.
Yep. Pierre says, I'd prefer Califiore on the left-footed and Italian if we continue this path for the rest of the season.
He's an exciting prospect.
He is an exciting prospect. I'm concerned whether, I think my only concern is, can he translate what he's doing at Bologna, or is he dependent on Mota, essentially, right? Like, is he able to do what he does because of Mota, or is it, he can move and do it there well?
Yeah, not like a massive data set yet, right? Like he's still pretty young. Not to say he can't do it, but maybe a bit more of an unknown at this point. But yeah, I mean,
so I was kind of curious and left-footed, but I need that. I need that in my life. But when I'm looking at it, right, and I'm kind of trying to get an understanding because Misak said it, and I thought it was interesting, where Misak was like, if you really want to figure out the root of the problem, and he's like, and this is an outlandish take on my part. Well, not outlandish, but he's like, this is what you want to do if you really want to prove that it's not just coaching that is an issue. He's like, don't buy any players, switch the coach, and then let it happen. He says, let it happen.
Just as an experiment. Like, if only you could do that in a vacuum, right?
I know, right? Like, he's like, just do that. And then people will finally stop complaining and whining about X, Y, and Z and understand it. Because, like, and this is one of the things that we've always tried to tell people, right? Have that critical thinking to sit there and say, it is not 100% this issue.
That's hard, man.
Straw man?
It's hard. It's hard, man. No, the straw man? Like, why does this
straw man argument? That's usually.
Oh, the strong man. I thought you saw straw man. Like, what's that movie there with
Leave me alone, Dave. I'm congested.
It doesn't seem like it. Like, you're breathing and talking through your mouth at the same time. It's impressive. You're like a shark.
I don't know. Is it? How many accounts does Peepo have? I thought House of Black and White is Peepo, and then we have a Peepo.
I really don't know.
There's so many Peepos.
He looks really scary in that one.
I can't. Dude, he comes in with a new avatar every stream, and I just can't help but laugh. But I think, right, because, like, I saw the New York Times, or the New York, what is it, Times Square? God, I live in America, and I don't even give a damn about it.
Yes,
I thought it was corny. I thought it was corny. And you want to know how much it costed?
How much?
$40.
$40?
$40 to make that ad.
That is it?
$40.
Is that how cheap it is to get into Times Square?
That's how cheap it was.
I'm thinking like at least a few thousand.
I referenced Bepe's video because Bepe made a video on it, and he actually, like, hey. 40,
yeah, he was
40,
upset about
he's
it.
Like this. He's like $40. But because it was like, I think it was 2 French streamers that did it.
Of course.
The French, they're like, we do not like this. We are going to. Yeah.
The fucking French complain about everything. Jesus Christ, they're just like they're always out for a riot. It's like baguettes and riots. That's what France is.
We are going to do the revolution of the Juventus by saying Allegri out in the Times Square. I can only imagine the perspective of everybody there. The fuck's an Allegri?
I know, really. Like, as we said that the other night.
It was just red lettering. There wasn't a person. There wasn't anything there. It was just like, for Juventus to be rebuilt and blah, blah, blah. Allegri out. I bet you there's 2 questions that people asked. What's an Allegri? And what's a Juventus? Because here's the funny thing about it. I don't know if these folks understand. Times Square, most of the people are either walking by like this or like this.
And they're all iPhones. New York is all iPhones. I was on the train, and I was like, everyone here, like, totally bought in. They're all on the Kool-Aid. The whole subway is on the Kool-Aid.
Choo-choo.
It's nuts. But, what's he saying here? Hefe, we are the French complaining Allegri's playing his poster boy. Why the French? Rugani?
I don't know.
Who's the poster boy? Which poster boy? DeCilio's not back.
Sandro.
Oh, Sandro, maybe.
Maybe that's what it is, Sandro.
The other left fullback.
But, like, at the end of the day, like, they put, and then there was that other ad where it had him holding his trophies and stuff, and they're like, respect, blah, blah, blah. Guys, it just seems really corny, right? Where it's just like, regardless, if you're doing, and I understand, right? It's not like Allegri in, Allegri out, and blah, blah, blah. Like, you're just trying to, it just makes the club look embarrassing because that thing is being seen by millions of people resharing it. It's being reshared by different things. And then other fan bases look at it, and this is something similar to what Beppe said, and I agree with it, right? Where he says, like, dude, other fan bases are looking at us and like, well, we argue with each other, but we're not that dumb. Like, we're not that dumb. Like, could you imagine if Barcelona fans that, that are complaining about their coach or whatever, and they're just like, oh, yeah, let's make an ad in Times Square about it. Like, it just,
It's dumb as fuck.
it's dumb. It just makes our fan base look really bad.
I mean, our fan base, not everyone, of course, but a lot of our fan base is really dumb. Let's just be honest. Can we be honest with that?
Right? That's everywhere, right? Like, I think that goes across all the sports. I think it goes everywhere, right?
Sure, and the bigger the team is, the more dumb people there are, just because there's more people.
I could imagine Real Madrid and Barcelona fans, or better yet, Manchester United fans, if those still
Arsenal,
exist. At least Arsenal have something to be happy for. They just have another title race that they'll eventually bottle.
Yeah, whatever. You will not say dumb. I will say goofy.
Can we come to a compromise and say corny? It is corny.
I mean, we can throw adjectives at it all day, but at the end of the day, they make bad decisions. New Yorkers don't know what Juventus are and who Allegri is, and on top of that, half Miami doesn't even know who Messi is. No, and that's...
Is that... I don't know about that.
No, I bet you a bunch still have no idea.
Really?
Did you see that thing about Ronaldo? It's like the World Cup, and they were just talking. They just had some random dude, and they're like, "Yeah, this is Ronaldo, the great footballer." And Americans were like, "Oh, really?" And they started getting autographs and pictures. Look nothing like him.
The bald guy with the one with the weird teeth, that Ronaldo.
No, it was for like CR7, but they just brought like some random dude off the street. It's like, yeah, just here, wear this soccer jersey and pretend you're Ronaldo.
I did forget to mention this about, another negative of that game. We lost Danilo for 2 weeks. And I'm waiting for your smile to just disappear.
No, because I was reading and I didn't process right away. And no, Danilo is out for a couple weeks. That is true. Yeah, of course a lot of people. Miami, I imagine, they're making a Grand Theft Auto about it for a second time. So obviously, Miami is full of goofy people.
I still, my favorite thing that I found extremely awkward, and we never had a chance to talk about it, was the Michelob Ultra with Messi. That commercial.
Oh, I didn't see it.
He didn't speak English. He didn't. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I put the link in because we gotta shut Dash up somehow. It's been over half an hour, so that's the cutoff. The lines are open. Dash, you had your chance. Now it's theirs.
We're just gonna go take a nap.
He wasn't on the stream at all yesterday, and he's just all bottled up.
It's just pure sexual desire. Yeah, it was hilarious though, because he did the Michelob Ultra, and then just kind of was like, he didn't speak English during the entire ad, at all.
Why wouldn't they get him to do like a Corona ad or something? Something that's
Michelob
more Spanish.
It's whatever paid more.
I know, but you think get some like Tecate or something.
Because the thing is, the ad, Jeff, the ad was like this. The ad was like Messi walks up to the bar in Miami and says, Michelob Ultra, please. And she's like, oh, sorry, Mr. Messi, I don't have any more left. Can you get you something else? Michelob Ultra. He said it with his thick Argentinian accent. Just Michelob Ultra. And then someone rolls a ball to him, and then Messi just starts, dribbling through. There was a Ted Lasso was in it too. He made a cameo.
Wow.
And everyone's like, whoa, what is that? He's like, oh, that's Lionel. I know that guy.
Wow. Jeff, how's it going, man?
That's pretty good. I'm just enjoying this shit show that's going around, going in a little war, people calling me idiots, clueless.
You have been at war, yeah.
Honestly, I kind of like it. It's fun for me.
You stirred the pot. You stirred the pot on that video. You put that comment, and you're just like, get some burner fluid. Then you're just like,
yeah, just a little bit of lighter and some lighting fluid, and everything just blows up. That's the easiest thing. The second easiest thing after putting Ronaldo better than Messi or Messi better than Ronaldo in a comment, and everybody loses their minds.
So this is all happening on X?
No, it was on. No, he commented on. I think it was Bepe's video.
I did it on Bepe's and AJC's. I thought about doing it on the BZ, but I just didn't have the nerve.
Oh, come on.
He-
I was
he-
gonna I
no,
was gonna be evil, but I was like, I'm gonna wait for it later. Maybe I don't know.
BZ did have something like, which decision do we have to make at the end of the season? I'm like, don't you have to make all of the decisions? Like, you got to make all the decisions at the end of the season eventually, right?
think
It's
there's a
not
lot,
just
right?
like, oh no, I can't make this one. I only have to make one.
I think you've got multiple, right? Like,
Well,
you've
that's
got-
the point. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
well, it's like-
he was asking, what's the decision? It's like, fuck, you would answer all the decisions. You get through all of them.
I think it was
Fucking
just
dumb
more
question.
so. I think it just there's just no context. Oh yeah, when he went like this, like The Rock was like this, like pointing an L at Roman Reigns. I saw that. I think The Rock is so jacked he can't bend his. It's just enough. P. Morton says, "Go figure." Messi is as arrogant about second languages as the average American.
I mean, if I spoke a sexy Spanish language, I don't feel like I would probably have to learn any other one.
You know, it's like ironic, right? Where it's just like he's essentially the most. I don't know. I think Taylor Swift more famous than Lionel Messi?
All over the world, that's a tough answer. Like,
Right.
I am
that-
good. You know what? I
that-
am going to ask Windows Copilot.
Like I think that's like outside of Taylor Swift, I think I think Messi clears Beyonce, right? I think Messi's cleared everyone else besides Taylor Swift. Because that woman moved the needle for the NFL and it was ridiculous. But I just find it I find it ironic that, like, for example, Ronaldo can speak English. He can do interviews, he can answer questions in English. But like as far as Messi is, like Messi
No cook.
no cook. No cook, drink water.
what?
Agua. I find it ironic that Messi could never, like, how does he communicate with refs? Like, can he understand English or does he, like, that's one of the questions that I think, like, I have as far as, like, with Messi, like, because in UEFA, the referees speak in English in the World Cup or international tournament. I think the only thing that they speak Spanish is in Kumbo for the South American Cup. Like everywhere else, I think the referees have like a standard English language where it's like they speak in English. So I've never heard Messi talk in English. I think that's like one of the urban legends that's like apparently Messi can speak it or understand it, but I've never heard it. Like I've never heard him speak anything.
I have oh my God. Copilot is giving me a fucking answer between Taylor Swift and Lionel Messi. It's still going. It's still typing. But from what I'm gathering, Lionel just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
That's interesting.
No,
Yeah,
'Cause
that's wild.
It's kind of what David says, where I still like where he's like Taylor's bigger than the mainstream. I would assume so.
I don't know
Like,
if I can
mean,
get this all in there.
You know what'll settle this debate? Let's ask the NFL. Like, is it better? Holy hell, you threw that on there.
That's the whole response.
So it says that's a tough question, as both Taylor Swift and Lionel Messi are both very popular and successful in their respective fields. However, based on some online data, we can try to compare their popularity in different aspects. According to the Recording Industry Association of America, Taylor Swift ranks 5th out of all female artists whose music is consumed in the U.S. Behind that, musical greats such as Mariah Carey, Madonna. Wow, those two are still above her.
Oh,
She
Madonna
also-
for sure. Yeah,
Or
she's like
maybe-
timeless.
You know how funny it would be if we just get a bunch of Swifties that start following us now because we said Taylor Swift.
Maybe
also-
maybe my my niece will start paying attention.
Watching. She also did 232 charted titles on the Billboard, blah, blah, blah. Lionel Messi, on the other hand, is widely regarded as one of the greatest footballers of all time, won 7 Golden Balls, most prestigious individual award. He also led Argentina to their first World Cup, ending a 36-year draft, and he plays for Miami.
Apparently just I couldn't do. It goes on. Like
It
that's
goes on,
as much as
yeah.
YouTube would let me paste in there. But yeah, I got into social media accounts. Messi has 476 million, whereas Taylor has 457. I mean, I think we've gone too far, really.
I
on
also
that
do
question.
think Messi posting the World Cup, him in the World Cup had like one of the most likes on Instagram a while back. I do remember that, but
It was so popular that Salt Bay tried to get in the picture,
Oh my!
he's the most cringiest man alive.
and his food is garbage, from what I've heard.
Yeah, over expensive too, and he doesn't pay his employees.
Allegedly.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I know what that's like. So I mean, the lines are open. Can't all just be Hefe tonight.
I can name exactly one Taylor Swift song. She's kind of mid, to be fair. She's an Applebee's host. That's so funny. Martin, with your permission, can I use Applebee's Hostess Hot as a grading scale from here on out?
Wow.
That is hilarious.
After a couple Bellinis, she's looking pretty good.
However, we have to be cautious because maybe those hostesses might be minors, so that's probably why. So we might need a little bit more context there.
Taylor was a lot more hot when she was a minor, but I was a minor too, so it's not weird. We're pretty close in age.
Oh, that's so dumb. You know, though, here's the funny thing. He says, "You may, sir." Yes. What's up, everyone? Is this the inaugural Double D College show?
Yes, it is. Are you gonna call in for once, Vlad? Come on, buddy.
Come in.
I want to hear your sexy accent. I don't know what it sounds like yet, but I want to hear it.
Yeah. Just
German-
come right by. Yeah.
German Dave says, "I don't know these American grading systems."
Okay, so Applebee's would be like pretty low. It's
What-
like above a
you know
bit.
what? Let's ask David this. David, name us your top 5 like food chains in Germany, and we'll be able to like label it. Like you got to go
They're not
in
big.
order.
They don't have a lot of chains though. In the
Okay, but
country.
that's fine, right? That's the idea, right? So, is there a Hooters?
Hooters.
Salad? I think that's like top tier, right? That's S
Who-
tier.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
No, there's that one Milestones. It's one of those.
Twin Peaks.
I was thinking like a small town type of a hot girl kind of thing, you know?
There's one restaurant though where they got in a lot of trouble for it because they were actually rating on the resumes how hot they were, and they would have a code in terms of like hire this one, this one's hot.
Oh, they do. Oh, absolutely. Like for example, in the food industry, especially if you have like a higher, finer dining. Like if you're a diner, no one really gives a shit, right? But like if you're a bistro or if you're trying to serve like your fancier food where you have a higher clientele, they have preference on like hiring attractive people, like whether it's both male or female, because they're like, hey, I need, especially bartenders, right? Because like bartenders are unofficial therapists. They're unlicensed therapists because they sit there, they give you alcohol, and they listen to your
Oh,
problems.
they have a license to serve.
I have a license to serve.
Vlad saying, I promise I'm gonna come, but it's past my bedtime right now. I'm just so tired.
Wait, do you live in Serbia or do you live in the States?
I think he lives in Serbia. I
That
think he's
does-
over there.
Okay,
Yeah, so he's on that
does
side.
make a lot. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So KB is asking the difference between a bistro and a restaurant. So a restaurant is just kind of like, it's the restaurant is the overall classification of going out to eat, right? Like bistro is a subcategory of a restaurant. So you have restaurant, which is like your big cloud. Then it goes down to fast food, diner, fine dining, bistro, bar and grill, etc. Right?
McDonald's.
McDonald's
Chipotle.
fast food, Chipotle, these nuts.
Yeah.
Bosnia, there you go.
So he lives in Bosnia. He is over there. He's in the Balkans. So what a bistro is a bistro is kind of like your bougier, right? Where they have like the flamme brillant or the seared salmon or like shrimp skewers, where it's not like they have burgers and fries, but burgers and fries isn't their main, their main staple as far as like what they serve. So
But
like,
though, if their fries are on point, that is a grade. That's one of my grades of a restaurant. If they can master the French fry, they know what the fuck's going on.
oh, absolutely. I think the French fry is hands down the most underrated thing that's at a restaurant. Like if
It's,
you have
it's
great
simple
French
but
fries,
technical. Like I mean, it's easy to have a shitty French fry. It's pretty easy to have an alright French fry, but it's hard to have a nice French fry.
Two-
You gotta know what you're doing.
two things. Go ahead, Jeff.
I was gonna say, what would you rate a McDonald's French fries?
You know what? They're amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, you could take a McDonald's French fry, throw it somewhere, and it'll just sit there for a couple of months without any mold. You're just
Yeah,
like,
I mean, you like pull it out of your car seat. It's like, oh shit, I forgot
oh
about
shit,
that.
hell yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah.
So let's catch up with some of these here. So German Dave says actually BK is the only chain I go to sometimes if I crave fatty soul food.
That's
Otherwise, I eat chicken.
surprising. I
He
find
says-
BK is like one of the worst of them.
Before they were good. After recently, they've just kind of because they shrunk the size of everything. Before,
All
like
it is-
their Whoppers used to be this big.
Sure,
and now
but
they're
like
just
the meat,
this.
it's the same meat as McDonald's, except you can't cover the taste up because they don't have the special sauce. So it's basically McDonald's with shittier fries and no special sauce. That's all BK is.
It's kind of it's pretty much how it is now at this point. And then he says, "Otherwise, I only eat chicken and my vitamins, brother." But let's see what P says here. So we had a 17-year-old hostess when I worked at Hooters. Those old dudes had her with a beer gut and sloppy within 6 months of her. You know, the sad part is that's true. Like it is like
You go to Hooters a lot, do you?
no, not Hooters, but I mean from the restaurant.
Just the restaurant industry.
I used to date a Hooters girl. That was fun.
Of course you did.
He's like, I jaded a Hooters girl, and I moved to Twin Peaks, and they both had the same peaks. No, the food industry is just a massive orgy. Any kind of food like the food industry, trust me, it's that and retail, two of the biggest pineapple areas ever.
I think there's there's no better love story than a hostess, a waitress, and the cook.
It's a line cook,
The line cook, yeah.
just a random ass line cook.
I've heard all these rumors about it.
Waiting. You guys should watch Waiting.
Fucking phenomenal movie.
Love it.
Phenomenal movie.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. And Elot. So again, I got another shout out to that Stuff You Should Know podcast that I listened to, because they have also recently done one on diners. And yes, diners is it's actually a Greek American immigrant thing. Like the Greek immigrants in America created the diner, and it's a pretty cool story. And yeah, they're all over the place. And if you find a good one, man, it's just old school, like burger and fries. You know, maybe get a milkshake, that kind of thing.
Greek food in general, you guys have tried it. It's really good. We have a really big Greek community, like 20 minutes north of us. It's actually one of the biggest Greek communities in United States.
There you go.
I'm sorry, you got the Reading Rainbow star.
Is that Reading Rainbow?
Reading Rainbow, yeah. You know, it's like the NBC thing. The more you know, like back. This was like early.
Yeah. It's the 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like 2000. Those were all reruns by then, man.
They're like, did you know if you sat down, the more you know.
Oh god.
Fuck. So I guess BK is still big in Germany.
That's what she said. And then, but is Hooters where the blessed?
No, the roller skates. A&W used to do the roller skate thing. A&W is my fast food chain.
Vlad tried to sound so innocent asking that. That's what makes it even funnier.
Or did he? Who knows?
God,
We never know.
You know, this is how bad Juve suck right now, is when we're going off of Hooters and McDonald's for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's what we do. You worked at Hooters twice. It's a cornucopia of bro cotties looking for hope.
Dude, that place is where it's like a sugar daddy playground. Like if you're an old dude and you drive a nice car and make over 6Ks, you're going there and you're licking your chops. You're like, I'm eating on wings. I'm eating on some other stuff too. If you know what I'm saying.
Do you like your dad? How's your relationship with your dad?
Job application.
See, and the thing is, Dave here, he's like, and I mean, that is still a pretty decent deal. Big King XXL double menu with big fries. And and the Americans are like, what's a 0.75 liter drink? What's a liter of cola?
What's cola?
Hey, have you guys ever tried Wendy's? I think it's pretty decent. Like, it's not the best, but it's pretty decent.
Yeah. What I do at Wendy's,
room trip away. So
okay, this is the Wendy's. I call this the stoner combo. You get a spicy chicken. You get the chili with 3 packets of hot sauce in it. So you got the spicy, Instead of the drink, you get the frosty, and you cool it all down.
I have a quick story about the Wendy's, like being like stoned out of my mind. I had some brownies. I took like an edible, and to put a long story short, I drive to Wendy's because, like, you know, it hit like 30 minutes later. I go to Wendy's, and I'm waiting for somebody on the drive-thru to talk. So like 30, 40 minutes later, I just find out it's closed. That's just how messed up I was. I was like, I'm watching anime in the car. I'm just waiting for a response, and I'm just like chilling. I'm like, what the fuck is it taking so long? I drive in there.
Bro, watch the whole episode of Dragon Ball Z. And he's like, hey, what?
No, I was in Naruto at that time. That was like the Naruto lore, bro. Like, I was watching the whole thing, and then, like, yeah, it was closed. I'm like, all right, on to McDonald's fries, baby. Let's go.
So David says, does the Hooter concept still work now that all of them could just make the jump to OnlyFans? That's how they market it. That's That's how they sell it. They sell it there. They'll be like, "Hey, you want to give me a tip? You can give me a tip on OnlyFans if you don't have cash on you." And they'll be like, "All right."
I want to say in like places like Kansas, it's still kind of big.
Hooters, no, Hooters is still big. We got two variations. We have Hooters in Michigan, and we
All
also
right.
have Twin Peaks.
Another fun fact, actually, another Hooters fun fact. The original Hooters, the first ever original Hooters, Clearwater, Florida, 10 minutes away from where I live.
There you go.
There
Of
it is.
course.
My girlfriend used to live there. Yeah, that's a fun fact.
Oh, fuck.
I think,
Guys getting big in Germany. That's good to know.
I think for this whole conversation, I think Denzel can attribute with a charming quote.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
A little more literal down the nose with that
You
one.
know,
but
now
yeah.
that it's like a digital world, I'm like wondering, I'm doing photography. I'm like, I might as well just go to Hooters and be like, look, you want to collab? I just get 30% of the subscriptions. We're good. I'm good.
30
I'm ready.
He's like, "I'll be the cameraman as long as you don't
I
splash
don't
me."
want anything from you. I just want cash. That's it. Just 30%.
You know-
Then you keep the rest. You're good.
Oh, I
So-
didn't mean to send that off
You
again.
just absolutely spammed it again.
I
That's funny.
spammed it. I'm deleting. Sorry. Spam.
You know what was funny? This was, I don't know how true this is, but I heard that photographers in Florida, like chicks that would like want to do like images and stuff like that, like they would hook up with photographers in Florida to get like discounts on their proofs.
I haven't heard that yet. I don't
And
know.
Jeff's like, Jeff, you're like, shit, I need to get on that.
Boys,
Get on it, bro.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I haven't been that far yet, as I do landscape. I don't do a lot of portrait, but I am starting a very small side gigs for people, like for everybody to up their dating profile, Instagram pages, and vice versa. So you can always like hit me up if you're in Florida for some good photos and good content. Yeah.
So, you said so. You're learning portraits. Do you need like a model?
I just haven't had the time to. I've been taking more pictures of my friends, like my friends just like going around random places. And
No, I'm just offering if you just need me to like lay down there.
Hey, whatever.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, the more the merrier. I will not say no. No, I'll be cool with that. Yeah.
All right, we got a deal then. Let's do it.
We'll take a picture of your caps and then send it to Frankie. So
a boudoir photo.
Yeah, we can do that. I don't give a damn.
So yeah, it says when I worked at IHOP, my boss was from Guatemala, and all my colleagues were the biggest mix of Balkans and ex-Soviet Union. That sounds like a sitcom.
Oh
Kinda
God.
does.
It
Kinda
sounds like a
does.
sitcom.
Kinda
Nothing
does.
but a bunch of rakia and tequila in one space. God.
You just imagine, hey, okay, we have a Balkan guy here, Soviet guy there. Okay, what are we ordering? We're going to go this, do this, adjust this. IHOP. What is an IHOP? I hop on this. What? What?
Or maybe
What are
it's
you
like
hoping?
an underground mafia, like some underground drug cartel, like within IHOP, where the Soviets and like all the Balkans just start making a deal with one another. You don't know.
Dave said, "Pay me like all your other girls." Morton says, "Being a line cook at Hooters was cool. Small miracle. I didn't receive any third-degree grease burns. OSHA didn't visit, and I never ordered breaded wings, naked only." Vinny coming in saying, "Hey, what's going on?"
And he's saying, "Stay away from my processed cheese," which I'm pretty
Stay away
sure
from
he's
processed cheese.
he's joking.
Vlad says, "Did you went to 5K tickets?" Oh man.
Oh fuck me!
Oh, that's funny. We got on this segue for restaurants and food. Jeff, we never asked about your thoughts on the game.
Okay, I
You're
gotta.
terrible at this.
Jeff, you gotta take care of Dash. Don't let him talk over you. I'm gonna lock up my chickens.
He's
Don't
gonna lock up his
don't
cock.
let. It's all you, Jeff.
Oh shit. Yeah, what do I think? I mean, what else is there to think than like what everybody think? It was shit. But I did recognize. I was saying. One opinion I had about the game was if we're gonna play the defensive style, the defensive style game where we defend, and then counterattack, I think we need to improve on our change of speed. I think the moment we received the ball, we slowed down the tempo, especially when we were like 1 goal down. That didn't make any sense to me. Like, we need to play a much quicker game. And to me, that was one of the factors that I recognized, that like the intensity just wasn't there. I've been going to war with this with a lot of people because they're blaming Allegri, and I'm saying that like there are 3 factors they're affecting our squad. Is either we're not that good, like you see players like Sandro and Milik, they're just not that good quality players. It is what it is. And if we do have good players, they're usually not in form. Like Chiesa, I do think he's still a high quality player, but he's not in form. And obviously there's no excuses, but I know what he's capable of. We've seen it. And then the other factor is inexperience. We have like a Kenan Yildiz that is a very good prospect, and he's improving every game, or he's trying to improve every game. But that's what I think. And then also it's the lack of accountability, because, if it was the same coach to be able to produce all the results in January and then all of a sudden go down the shit, and then it's like Allegri out, I mean, I don't know what to say.
And it's fair, right? Like 100%. Like it's just one of those things where I think we're lapsing onto. It's almost like, for example, comfort, right? Where it's just like, you ever have like, and you and I both being Albanian, I think we can relate to this, right? We got some big ass families. You ever have like that one cousin or that one family member that always just gets shat on for no reason? You could just walk in like, God damn it. Like at this point, I think Allegri has become the unpopular Albanian family relative, right? Like what do we say? Mardrations and Herdika, right? Like,
the thing is, Allegri hasn't been wanted since July of 2014, almost 10 years ago. I say that a lot. People think I'm crazy. I remember this till yesterday when I was looking at my Facebook comments when he got hired. And honestly, I was like 10 years ago, I was skeptical of him too, because I know the way that he left Milan was disastrous. So we have to look at it that way. So like when he came in, I remember like the floodgates of all the comments on Facebook saying Allegri out. And he didn't even start coaching his first game. It was Allegri out. He sucks. We're done. And I kind of had that defeatist mindset until like this first year when he took Juve to the Champions League final. He overperformed. At times he can be very roller coaster like, and I know that he can do like really, really bad and then sometimes do really, really good. But I just think that this 2.0, there's more nuance than just to say it's only his fault, because I have to look at it year by year. I will say it again. Year one, you lose Ronaldo, and then you have to do a little bit of squad building. And then you're losing De Ligt, because he was actually our best player, at least in the first year, until he sucked at Bayern. And then year two, half of your whole squad is like injured. And then, you play bad all the way up till mid-October. Then you pick yourself up. You're in the top 4. You're almost competing with Napoli. You lose 15 points, get your ass kicked by Napoli. And then, try to go through all the other factors. Like year 2 of Allegri was a nightmare due to injuries, and then the FIGC's clown show. And then year 3, he's been doing much, much, much better. But, every team will evidently go through a downturn. So, yeah, here we go again.
Yeah, and I think to add on it, I think we might be blowing it a little bit out of proportion because Inter hasn't hit that downturn. Like since the season started, I don't think they have. There's not like, they've had like an off game like Genoa, Sassuolo, right? That's really it. Everything else, they've essentially won every other game outside of that.
I think they wanted. I hate to admit it. It kills me, to be honest. I have to give them credit too. Like if you're looking at it for one, like you're looking at Locatelli and Hakan, who's performing better, and it kills me to say Hakan is doing better. And then the strikers like Dusan and Lautaro, or Thuram, Thuram versus Chiesa, and then Dusan versus Lautaro, or you can do it vice versa. Still, Inter's doing better. Again, it kills me. Barella's better than McKennie. Sucks to admit it. Rabiot with Mkhitaryan. It depends. Like Mkhitaryan's more, I would say, more technical, whereas Rabiot's more physical, but he hasn't been producing as what he was doing last season. So again, like our midfields can only take us as far. Our wingbacks are much better, I think, than last season. Having Cambiaso at the helm and Timmy Weah replacing it over Cuadrado. I don't think that he's done amazing, but yeah, I think he's a step up to Cuadrado. And then our defense is kind of failing because I think it was as long as it was able to sustain, with the exception of Bremer, that he's doing good.
Yeah, cool. So I got some feedback from a couple of folks. German Dave says, Jeff Habibi, we can't change the speed of speed when we already miss passes. Slow. I don't want to see how it looks when we demand them to play and think quicker. Moving on to Pierre. Pierre says, there's quite literally Allegri outers who have set expectations at the start of the season, at which we are currently exceeding, but they still continuously say he's a cancer to the team. It's kind of like you said, right? It's just ever since he came in, everyone's just like, F that guy. He's unfortunately that terrible Albanian relative that no one cares about.
Yeah, I agree.
Morton says, In-N-Out have terrible fries. I'd rather go to Jack in the Box. That would be a question for Sal, because Sal knows that area quite well. Vlad says, my biggest frustration has been the lack of points recently, the lack of urgency. Yesterday, we were able to equalize fast twice, but loosened up the tempo since then. I don't understand why.
I don't understand what animal style the fries means.
I don't either. Morton says, I think the family member is my wife. Maybe it's me. He's talking about, so Dave, you missed it. We're saying that Allegri's being treated as the unfavorable family member that shows up at reunions.
No, I was. I actually did have my phone on. Yeah, I was listening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. As you see, I corrected you in the next comment.
Vlad says, Jeff, Allegri 2.0 died, or 2.0 died last season around. Allegri 3.0.
Just skip my comment.
I just wanted to just piss you off. Monza beat merda.
Well, we dodged a little bit of a bullet there, so there you go.
Vlad says, Dash, do you think Inter will break the 102 points record?
If they don't stumble.
So I think, and this is where I might get heat for this. If they don't drop points by the end of March, like for example, if they don't drop 3 or 4 games by the end of March, they're going to beat it. Because Morata is going to be petty. Like that, there's some pettiness there. If they continue, like for example, if they win and they draw maybe 1 or 2 games throughout now until the end of March, I could see it possibly happen. It's possible. Whether or not it happens is a different story, but they would have to play lights out from here to then.
I think it's going to be hard for me. You also have to deal with the Champions League.
Exactly.
To that place, because Inter's been playing good, because they haven't been playing the other competition, and now coming this Wednesday, we're going to see a lot of things that's going to determine how well they're going to play against Atletico Madrid. Yeah. And if they go through, I kind of in a weird way, I don't mind them going through so they can have an extra competition.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Well, if they lose, I'll still be happy, but either way, I wouldn't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. David says also Max tried to carry a high press into preseason, also carried over into the season, and Sassuolo put 4 on our heads. Our style is influenced by that point. We won't change until the squad changes. It's a fair assessment. I don't disagree with that at all. I think it's pretty accurate. Morton says Vlahovic. I don't know if that's like a joke. That's why I'm kind of reading it that way, or if it's a mistypo. It's totally fine. Needs to stop falling over when he's 1.5, or he is, right? There's some times where you get frustrated with him where he gets easily knocked over because he's focusing on drawing the foul. Sal says none of our team would even make the bench of Juve's all-time greats.
Nobody right now, probably not in their current form. No.
Chiesa will be on the bench.
Gombachiro says they put Thousand Island with caramelized onions and cheddar on they fries.
The Thousand Island thing was the McDonald's sauce.
Yeah, it's like the secret sauce. I think McDonald's for their Big Macs, they use like a secret sauce, which is mayo, ketchup, and mustard all put together.
It's a Thousand Island dressing with a couple other things added.
So Pierre asks, boys, what players of the current squad would start in the Champions League final? 0.
Start? No, I only see Chiesa and Bremer on the bench.
Bremer doesn't start just because of who else is there, right?
You have, because here's the thing. that people forget. 16-17 Alexandro was a demon.
Yes.
Was a demon on that left side.
2024 Alexandro.
Sandro is a little bit different.
That's like 7 years, man. It's a long time.
The only thing I could see. No, and I have a difficult time seeing it because I'm trying to rationalize the players and the positions that they play at the time and currently.
Yeah, Jerosyn Cambiaso, like not in his current state. He might grow into something like that. But
I don't know. I don't see Cambiaso benching Dani Alves. There's no way. No way Cambiaso benches Dani Alves. Because this is what the squad was built off. It was Higuain up top, Dybala in the 10, and Zukic on the left. Maybe pre-injury Chiesa starts either on the left or the right. Pre-injury Chiesa. And then you had Cuadrado that was on the right. Then you had your two deep lying midfielders of Pjanic and Khedira. Yeah, nothing benches those two. We don't have anything that benches Khedira and Pjanic.
Okay, I'm still confused here with animal fries. Is it cheese spread or is spread a separate thing? Animal style fries are topped with cheese, spread, and grilled onions. Like what's a spread? What do you mean? I'm still confused.
Morton says Scudetto is finito, Serie A is a battle to 2-5. I think that's a fair assessment, right? I mean, unless something crazy happens, I don't.
What we're here for? We're here for it. We can always dream, right? Don't ruin a guy's dreams.
I think for now, like starting now, is just put your head down and focus every game and just play the absolute fucking best that you could possibly play and get your head out of your asses. I think like one factor that screwed everything up, I think it's like they played so well that I think we flirted with complacency. I think a little bit of complacency. We got a bit overconfident. This also happened to Allegri because he was talking some shit. Let's be honest. He was talking some shit.
Yeah, no, it was fun, though.
It was fun. And regardless, it was fun. We got a little bit overconfident, and that might have been one other factor that shot us in the foot, too. So we have to take that and just kind of humble ourselves down and just play every game. So.
Yeah.
Dani Alves was massive. That season was unreal. Unfortunately, him, Bonucci, and Dybala and all of them had their shenanigans in the dressing room at halftime of that final. But like the way that Dani Alves was able to combine with Dybala and Higuain that season was outrageous. Like it was insane. He was like that final piece of the cog from the 15-16 team. Like Dani Alves was one of the best free agent signings we had that year. It's a shame that it only lasted for a year because he disagreed with some stuff. But
speaking of free agent signings, I've been waiting for the segue all evening. Leon Goretzka.
No.
You guys hear about that one today?
I heard it, and I'm saying no.
He's too injury prone. That's it. I like him as a player, but he's injury prone.
Too much money, and too much injury time.
What do you guys think of the chat, Leon Goretzka? I was like, really? No, probably no. No, I'm on it. No.
Hopefully, yeah, right, Elliot. I think Napoli might lose those matches against Barcelona with how they've been. So it's.
Yeah, they have not been. I mean, even with Barcelona, the way they are not the best, they're still a good team, you know.
So I think so. Like for example, this comment about with Sandro, I think Sandro's hamstring just died on him. I think it was 18-19, one of those years where it's gone and he's just never been the same since. Lad saying people blaming Max right now because we only won 2 points out of 12, and it's probably we won't win another title this year. But the problem is this Interside is generational. It's very hard task to win this season, and he is 100% true.
Okay, I have a very wild take because I went into an argument with my buddies yesterday, and I was saying, look, if the roles were reversed, and if Allegri had Inter, and Inzaghi had Juve with this current squad, I think that Inzaghi would struggle to make it to the top 4. Allegri would have been 20 points. It's a little bit wild. I know it's out of touch.
No, that's not wild. That's a very interesting conversation.
Because I do think having Beppe Marotta for like 5 years at Inter does help. Also, we didn't even have like a proper sporting director after that. So like now we're already on the cusp of hopefully having a good sporting director. So we'll see how Giuntoli's going to cook. I think he's been okay. I think I'm liking what Charlie's doing as well when they got him. I want to see more of them, but I can't give you a full letter grade yet. But yeah,
No.
that part. If Allegri would have been to Inter, I think they would have been even more ahead. And people were saying, no, his style plays bad. I'm
I
like,
think if Allegri was on that Inter squad last year, I think they won the CL. I think they
Yeah.
beat Man City. I think they do.
Interesting
They
take.
could.
Interesting
They
take.
could. There is a. I will say though, Allegri on the finals on the Champions League hasn't been always the best. So that's
No. I know, right? But like, for example, he was up against a Man City, which, like, to be honest with you, if you compare Man City to the Real Madrid and the Barcelona that he faced, I think that this Man City's behind. Like,
that's pretty good. Yeah, they're so good though. That Man City was good still, regardless. Like Holland was like on a really good. He was on a really good roll that year. But I would give it 30. Yeah, that's fair. That's
because
Chirlo-
go ahead, Dave.
No, Chirlo's question. Do you have an answer? Is there a source for the
Do you
halftime
know
fight?
that there was a halftime fight in Cardiff? I think that's like the streets. The streets know. like I think it's always been something.
It's
right?
bro science.
It's bro science.
All right.
No, get that ass away. Get that ass boy away from Juve. But he's ripped. Vlad says, also, if you judge performance based on results, you have to mention that this was probably the best start in the first 20 matches under Allegri at Juventus, which is also
Yeah,
true.
we usually start slow, so
Yeah.
that's kind of a point. Yeah.
Yep. KB says, "Gots to go. Great show. Bye,
Aw,
guys."
later,
Thanks,
buddy.
KB. German Dave says, the problem is we consistently threw pressure when we had Inter away, and now they can cruise into their 3-0 wins in the bounce. Yeah. Yeah, we did. We absolutely fumbled that when we lost that game. Vlad says, this side is far from any of those Allegri 1.0 sides, and we had to be humbled sooner or later. We had to. I think there was just, unfortunately, that fall to reality because, like, if this team, and this is where I'm kind of frustrated, where I think it's on the players, where it's just like, you wake up when you concede, and then after you score, you're just like, all right, we good. Like, I don't know how to phrase that. For me, unfortunately, it's really confusing because it's like, you come back and you score and you play offense, and then after you score, you're just like, all right, I'm done. See you guys. Good night.
Mental weakness.
Yeah. Vlad says, no to Gorsteka. Rabiot is better than the current version of Gorsteka, which is true.
Goretzka.
I want to say Gorsteka because he's garbage now.
It's like Azteca or something.
As Azteca.
The Gorstekas.
Gorsteka. Stadio Gorsteka. Morton says Juve have done a lot with the limited offense, which is true. And Vlad says the source for that was Leo Bonucci, allegedly.
Well, he is the leaker. He's the mole.
Yeah, he's the mole. He's the mole of moles.
Yeah, thank God we're done. We're done with the Leo Bonucci saga. So I don't know what he's doing. So I wish him well. That's all I can say.
German Dave says, especially with the lack of energy that Bayern's whole team shows, I don't want any one of them. Their form and energy have been toxic to the German national team, and those Bayern guys exploit their power.
No, I think they've gotten arrogant. That's what it is.
It's been 11 years now.
Consecutively winning, being a serial winner, you're gonna get cocky. You're gonna get I mean, you look at Kimmich. I think when Joshua Kimmich going into the club, that's all he's been doing is winning. Like he hasn't had one losing season in the Bundesliga. A lot of these guys haven't. So, yeah.
And Morton says Milan got carved up by Monza, which is very true. And then
That was fun. I enjoyed that game today.
Marzai.
I was hoping because I got up really early. I didn't sleep the best last night, and I was like, I'll watch that 2:45 match today, and I'll fall asleep on the couch. It'll be great. And the game was too exciting, so yeah, didn't fall asleep.
All right. So I don't really think there's any other news, right?
Well,
No.
What happened with the Paul Pogba? So they just moved that to March.
So, yeah, it was just one of those past. They'd have a date that by February 16th they should know a date, and that date is just mid-March. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just nobody fucking knows. It's ridiculous. Like, how do you just not know when a court date is?
I don't know.
So I think Dave, I think we can go into closing soon, right? Like I think there's like one last article that we can talk about here. So with Adrien Rabiot, there's a couple of Premier League clubs that are looking at Adrien Rabiot to see if they can get him on a Bosman. I don't see, because now one of the reasons why is because the growth decree is no longer a thing, so we won't be able to get those tax deductions and whatnot. So the new deal would weigh about 18 million on Juve's wage bill for Adrien Rabiot. So 18 million if you were to renew him at the same cost. So I will ask you guys this next season or this summer: resign or let him walk.
Not at that price, no. You can't do that. And maybe that's why you do look at all these different options. I mean, Charlie's an obvious one. Whether he's worth that price, we'll wait and see. But Samardich, Coop Miners, Goretzka, whatever, right? Like, you have all these names coming out. So, I mean, we're looking. There's a reason why there's a couple big, like, primary names out there, not just one. And I think it's because maybe we need to fill a couple holes.
Oh no, I mean obviously Pogba's getting out of the helm, and then if we're gonna get rid of Rabiot, we need to find a replacement for him. And then you're looking for Samarsic and then Cope Miners. A lot of people have been hot on him. My only concern is being a Gasparini player. Once you leave out of that squad, that Atalanta squad, are you going to be the same? So that's going to be that's my only question with him. And then obviously the coaching change, because I don't think Allegri leaves, but a lot of people want him to leave, and
this month they do.
Answered me the question, who do you replace? And that's also the other one. The other question I've been asking, like, okay, you want to get rid of Allegri? Fine. Who do you want to replace? And everybody's like, De Zerbi. I'm like, no.
Oh my God, still.
I'm getting
you don't have the roster for him to do what he needs to do. That would take you at least 2 to 3 years.
I mean, only Locatelli, I guess. That's the only one I can think of right now that was a De Zerbi player. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes.
It's it. Like, for example, even with Motta, like
Cambiaso,
Locatelli. Maybe, no, not even Dusan, because Dusan doesn't do what Xerxes does. And that's what makes Bologna work. You've got no inverted wingers to suit Motta style. So regardless of whatever direction you're going to have to make a rehaul. Like, it's going to be an overhaul. There's no time. There's no, I mean, even with Allegri, there needs to be an overhaul. Like, there isn't, no one can take this group of individuals that we have right now and make them be elite. You can have, like, for example, Allegri was like, fuck it, I can make it work for 19 weeks, and that was the best he was able to get it to go.
I mean, we still might bounce back. We've had this before where you have a bad month, right?
It happens. I mean, even Milan had a bad month. Like, we have a bad game. So, yeah, there you go. Like, at the end of the day, they can bounce back again. You never know. And just keep maintaining the second place and then going to Coppa Italia and winning that. I've been predicting that the whole time, like, maintain top 4 and then, like, compete for the Coppa Italia, just have a trophy for a morale boost. And then the year after that, just kind of cook in the transfer market. And then, because also I wanted to also point out as another one of the factors that killed the one thing that killed Allegri also was like not making it in Europe. So you're not going to have some of the funds to get some of the players in the summer, and Fagioli and Pogba screwing us over with their stupidity. So don't forget that.
So just to reply to a couple things here, Vlad, resigning Rabiot is a must. All good replacements for him are more expensive than him. And that's true, but I think you're setting a bad precedence on the wage side of things, right? Because other players like, well, he's getting this, and I perform way better, so then I should be, like Chiesa right now asking for more, right? Just because. It sets a bad precedent, and I fear that. Bosley Gasparini, yes, I like him too, but
the only concern is whether or not he would get along with the board.
Yeah, he's it's an attitude.
Very, very abrasive behind
that, and that's always been the problem with that.
I think with the style that we play, I think Conte would be the only like somewhat of a good replacement. I
still don't mind Mata. Like, Mata would be okay. Would he?
Yeah.
Get us there? I don't know. I think it might be a couple years.
Here's the problem with Motta, right? Juve fans are some of the fickle SOBs I've seen.
Oh yeah, they'll cook him. They'll cook him so hard as soon as he
If
stumbles.
Mota has 3 or 4 bad games, all of the football hipsters are gonna say, "Well, this guy sucks," because this is the problem with modern age fandom: is they buy into players more than they buy into teams and things in general, right? Where it's just like, for example, if their player's not playing well, they'll never say that their player sucks. They'll just say that their coach is a douche. Like there isn't an instance where someone can sit there and say, I don't think this. Maybe he's just not playing good. Like that's kind of what throws things off. And Vlad says, y'all think liking Gasparini is edgy. How about Ivan Juric? No, Misak likes Juric though.
Yeah, I mean, he's good for what he is. Again, what context are you talking? Are you talking about is he good for Juve, or is he like performing well with what he's has?
Yes,
Like,
he has Torino. I mean,
he said he's doing okay. Like Torino is not a great team. He does okay. He's all right. He's all right.
seems weird that he left Verona for Torino. That's the one thing. I mean, Torino's.
Yeah.
He hasn't gotten Torino into the European spot. I mean, it's pretty much like, for example, he's doing the same that he would do with Verona, but with Torino instead.
Listen, Torino are serial losers. They're not going anywhere.
No, they're not doing anything. Yeah, no. I would say it again. I would say maybe Conte. The only thing I could see one positive out of Conte when he comes in as a manager is maybe to motivate and teach these younger kids more accountability. That part where he does have the charisma and he's an energizer. I just wouldn't keep him no more than 2 years. That's it. I would keep him for 2 years and that's it.
The problem with Conte is whether or not he's kind of a man-child in a sense.
Yes.
Where it's like, if he doesn't get what he wants, he goes out in the media and tries to put you down or cry names and yada yada yada.
I wanted to say the one rebuttal to that is I think maybe him and Giuntoli having a good relationship might work. I'm just for an idea, maybe if that could maybe work a little bit. I'm not even like saying get rid of Allegri. I'm just saying only one hypothetical to even replace him, to just shut up the fans. That's it.
For sure, but I think the one thing Conte will look at, he'll come into training in the summer, look at how some of these players are, and he'll say, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Yeah, I could see that.
Because that's kind of what he was doing with Tottenham. He's like, these guys are perennial. Like, he pretty much said it, but didn't say it. Like, these guys are losers.
Nah, yeah, I pretty much said it.
Like, he pretty much said it. That these guys are pretty much losers.
Torino has low expectations and great scenery.
Yeah, that's so true. It's actually funny. So what was the previous one? He said, if we come second this year, get within 10 points, I would stick with Max, give him a Mercado, because then the expectation is Scudetto next year. New coach, got to wait 2 years. I want to win now.
That's not a bad take.
That's a good point.
That's the other thing, too, that folks need to understand, because a lot of people don't understand this. So Sal posted this for us on Discord on the news, where Juve, I think, because of European competition omissions, have lost roughly about 90 million. The losses went to about 95.
95, yeah.
So Juve cannot afford to be outside of top 4. If you bring in a Motta, Palladino, Italiano, you bring in someone like that, a De Zerbi, you are rolling the dice on a financial situation that Juve are not willing to do. Because, like, for example, if they were to get this new coach, they have to spend money to get him players that he needs to fit his system and potentially move players to get there. So that's going to be an expense that adds on to cost. And then if he does not make it into the top 4, you lose a shit ton more money. So that's a compiling cost. Whereas, like, for example, with Allegri, if you keep Allegri, you are doing some adjustments. You're buying some players. You're making some adjustments. You're not doing a large overhaul. Because, for example, we might have gotten away without having to sell Chiesa or Dusan in the summer. But, like, for example, if you hire Motta and Motta or whoever doesn't qualify for top 4, both of them are gone next season because they cannot afford it. Mm-hmm. And with us not qualifying for Europe this summer, we had to find ways to cut costs to balance the books, and we didn't buy anything besides Timmy Weah.
Who might get sold now?
And loaned out Charlie in the winter. That's it.
Yeah.
It's a loan there.
That we don't pay till the summer for $4 million.
So for someone to say that and just not essentially take that into context, right? For the reasoning, how that's an issue and how that might cause problems for people, to me it's a little bit disingenuous, right? Where you're just kind of like, oh yeah, we do this because what Allegri does doesn't mean another person can guarantee it. If you want to say, and it's just kind of like how Jeff made that argument with Inzaghi and Allegri swapping roles. My only
Mhm.
question to the hardcore Allegri outers, and just because I'm defending a statement or Allegri, I hate when people sit there and be like, "Oh, you're an Allegri stan because you're defending it." I'm like, dude, I'm trying to think logically here. We're trying to have a
People just put the irrational people just put labels on it. It's just like when people's like, "Oh, well, you're a conservative or you're a liberal." I'm like, "What was that?" I
Well, I
mean,
get
you
called
just
a
say,
communist, so yeah.
"Yeah, I've been called a fascist and a communist in the same day." It's like, what does it even mean?
Yeah, because and this is what Dave is saying right here, German Dave. It's like you bring in a new coach, you're bringing in assistants, technical staff, the whole bit, and you're signing them to a 3-year contract. If he flops the first year,
Sorry,
Yeah.
you're stuck with his wage for the other 2. You're
like
on the hook. for
it's
the
only
other
been
2.
a couple years ago. Have we fucking forgot?
Sorry, Pirlo, both gone, and you were still technically on the bill for a couple of them. Besides Pirlo, because Pirlo was only a 2-year deal. So, like, you're gonna bring in a new coach and sign a 2-year deal. What kind of coach, in the right sense of mind, is gonna say, "Yeah, I'll take that"? If I'm Thiago Motta, if I'm anybody, if I'm Motta, Italiano, whoever, if Juve come up to me and say, "Oh yeah, I'm giving you a 2-year contract," that's it. I'm looking at them like, "What the hell? I'm not taking that. You give me 3 or 4, not 2." Because coaches will know if I'm offering you a 2-year deal, I'm giving you a 1-year, show me what you can do. If you can't do it, out of here. If I'm a coach, I don't take that. I take the 3. Because if I get sacked in the 1 year, at least I know I can sit on my ass for 2 years and still get paid. It makes no sense, right? Like, in theory, from a coaching perspective, if I'm, a people person, it's like your job, right? Your job says, all right, so Dave, I like you a lot. I'm just going to give you 2 years on contract for you to do this work, this mechanic work. You're going to look at it and be like, oh, fuck off, man.
Yeah, you know what? Aviation is pretty ruthless. You probably take it because otherwise, fuck you. You wanna
Read this one. Why we just didn't mention ever that we had a good squad without a great coach? I don't understand.
He's basically saying that the squad is good enough, but the coach isn't. I think that the squad isn't good enough. We've mentioned that they've overperformed this season, and they've lacked. Oh, we've mentioned it. Yes, nobody is without fault. Everyone is without fault.
But he has faults too, so
I think
agreeing with that.
Because I saw this argument, right, and I was like, someone was like, the players aren't really performing that well to an elite level, and then someone responds with, oh, but they're international. They play on their international teams, and I was kind of like this. I was a little bit floored, and I'm like, yeah, but do they start? Because Dusan doesn't start. Chiesa sometimes starts when he's healthy. Locatelli barely gets called up. I think the only ones that start consistently are Danilo, McKennie, and Weah. Cambiaso doesn't start.
But also understand what nationality they are, because I mean, if they're playing for like an Armenia or like a low
or
country, so
United
States. The States, the way he had McKennie.
Yeah,
because like for example, I think with I think Rabiot is the only one that like will start on an elite national team, which is France, and that's even like question marks, right? Because Camavinga and Chouameni could potentially put him on the bench. So it's like I don't. It's tough to make that argument because, like, for example, Chiesa, at this point, we're not sure what the hell Italy's going to do. Like,
Mom Spalletti.
Pierre says, with many loanees, top 4 money, we should have many options on this upcoming summer.
Oh, yes. Yeah, like if... Sorry,
I'm already... pitch. No, go ahead.
I'm already talking about it. Yeah, sorry. No, I like Sule. Sule's perhaps there. Illing. Weah. I mean... We don't know. Yes, there are a lot of options. The summer, there are just so many unknowns at this point, and it's really just spitballing. But yes, the summer, we're looking forward, right? We're gonna do the best we can this season, but really, we are looking forward to next season.
So Vlad brings up a fun comment here that is actually extremely true. You missed it. It's this one.
This one.
Did you catch what Adrian said to Max about saying, "Coach, you called me, you brought me here, and then you dipped"? That's how bad our management was. We got Allegri players and then I hired Sarri to coach them. Which is, dude, Sarri ball was an absolute disaster. Like that was because Zidane essentially gave Juve like, I'm not coming to you guys,
Yeah.
and then Guardiola said, I'm not coming to you guys. So like, what do we get? We get Sarri's balls. Like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
no,
exactly what we
it was interesting. It was an interesting couple of years.
Oh, he's like a one-dimensional tactician. That's what I consider.
I mean, it's a cool story. He was a banker, right?
did. Sarri,
It's cool.
Sarri is always good for that team that's battling to come up to Europa League,
or
Champions League,
top
that
four. Yeah.
top four squad. Because everyone's like giving him praise for Bayern Munich. I'm like, do you not realize that after Bayern went down a man and then they went up one, Bayern's like, all right, cool, let's not go down 2-0. There's no point in tying
Well,
this game.
no,
Let's
on
go
top
rock
of
them at
that,
home.
On top of that, Bayern is in probably one of the worst forms I've ever seen Bayern be in over 10 years. To say,
I mean,
they're in a horrible form.
But
They
that's the
lost
point.
their-
It's been 10 years. There's just like they're fat, dumb, and lazy.
People were like, I was talking to some people who were like 4 days ago, and they're like, "Who's got this? Bayern's gonna win." I'm like, "No, Lazio's gonna win." I predicted Lazio. I'm like, they're gonna win 1-0, 2-0. Bayern's in really bad form,
And that'd be wild.
and their back four is shit. Their back four is horrible, and their goalkeeper
Yeah, it is.
old. Their goalkeeper is super old. I mean, respect to Neuer. I still his prime was phenomenal. He was a phenomenal goalkeeper, but now he's out of his prime. After the injury, he's done. And
Yeah, but Bayern needs to do the full rebuild. It might be another 5 years before they're back at it again, which
Yeah,
is kind of
of
like us.
Of course, I mean, that's the thing. I think we're not. You know what? Our rebuild didn't end up as bad as I thought it would have.
Oh, it could have been. It could have been worse. Some
been a lot.
rebuilds just utterly fail, like the Toronto Maple Leafs. They were still
look
trying
at,
to make it past the second round.
Well, look at what happened when AC Milan got rid of Allegri, and then it took them years.
And they got lucky with Pioli. Honestly,
they
he was
got
an interim. Yeah, like there's just luck.
And I also argued the fact that I go back to the thing, if Allegri went to Inter, I think he would have probably won against Milan. He probably would have won if he had replaced Conte and said, okay, they would have won that league, and they would have won the league afterwards. And it wouldn't have been Napoli.
I think they would have won the Champions League last year if Allegri was there. As much people will hate to admit that, I think he would have.
How crazy if Sarri's balls went to Barca? That might actually work.
If they only have like $2.5 million to hire a coach,
That's Sarri's balls enough.
I
Isn't it?
guess. I
Yeah,
don't know. I think Sarri will go there and complain and flop like always.
I don't know. That'd be interesting.
I think you need to pay Sarri in like cartons of cigarettes.
The Charlotte Hornets
You know,
are
I
still
would be-
rebuilding.
Yeah, that's true. I would like to see though.
No bullshit. Oh, one of my friend's grandfathers looks like fucking Saudi. Like the glasses. Like I'm not even lying. That's what I call him, like Saudi. Like, bro, you look at this picture, he just looks like you, bro. He smokes cigarettes too, just like him.
I would be curious though to see if Saudi went to a team where they actually gave him what he needed and gave him the time. I would be curious because I think he just was part of the Napoli curse. So I think that's probably why. Because Allegri just absolutely rocked him the 2 chances that he got. But I'd be curious, just as an experiment, right? I think Sarri is better at a squad where they'll give him to be honest with you, I think Sarri's better for a Premier League team, right? Where he can go there and not have the pressure because
Let him go to Tottenham.
well, no, I think Tottenham would fuck him completely. But
Well,
if he doesn't go to Man United, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, or anything hell, I think Arsenal's patient. I think if he went to Arsenal instead of Arteta, or if he went to Arsenal instead of Chelsea that one time, I think he probably would have gotten Arsenal to be.
but yeah,
to be-
Chelsea.
I mean, why don't you just take Chelsea right now? They're in shambles.
Ah, man,
I
Chelsea
don't-
just ruins everything.
I think
Yeah,
Chelsea doesn't know what the hell they're doing right now.
I think
that's
the
what the
post
issue is.
Abramovich era has done it because I think as much as he was ruthless, I did think on some cases, like in the transfer window under Abramovich, he did pull some nice players in the past. Probably other than that, I also think I hate Real Madrid again. I don't like them, but in the transfer market, they're really good at what they
Hey
do.
man, Doctor Evil, Fiorentino Perez, just an absolute monster.
Well, guys, that was a good one. I think that kind of wraps her up, for the inaugural Double D official.
Congratulations,
Hefe.
guys.
Thank you. Yes, we'll move forward. There's a bit of a freedom in the air, if you will. Oh man, you know what we haven't done in a while is let the guests do an outro. Draft, do you want to do an outro?
I haven't. Next time.
Oh, all right.
I'm
Next time, get it ready.
I wasn't prepared. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, just putting you on the spot. Dash, I guess you have to do it.
Alrighty.
Oh man, well, let's hit it out.
I'm just gonna. All right, everybody. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. May the cheese be with you.
Really?
I was echoing. What do you want me to say? Someone was echoing me in the background.
The cheese made the cheese be.
Dave said it. He put it on there.
Channel in your inner Florida.
Oh, he did.
Energies.
This is how we're outroing the first inaugural double. Jesus Christ.
I had nothing.
All right, guys, thanks for joining in. We will see you on the next one. That will probably be the Wednesday night, the Tinfoil Hat Show, when, yes, you will see more AI-generated art. Guys, good night. See you soon.